Hi there, my name is Jason and I'll be moderating today's webinar. We'll get things started very shortly. Just please take this time to ensure you can hear me correctly. You should also be seeing the introductory slide to today's webinar on your screen with the title, Improve Employee Engagement with Uber Eats. I'll be back to kick things off and introduce your host shortly. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Hi, everyone. Jason here from Uber for Business. I'll be your moderator for today's webinar. Thanks for joining us. If you have any questions at any point throughout today's webinar, please use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen to ask. We'll also allow time at the end of today's session to go through as many as we can. Feel free to also send us a chat. We'll do our best to respond. We'll also be polling the group throughout the webinar, so please participate by answering the questions as they pop up on your screen. Today, we'll be doing some quick introductions and an overview of Uber for Business and diving into the specific use case of employee engagement, something that's definitely become more and more important as we're all adapting to working virtually. We'll go through specific examples of how customers have used meal delivery for engagement and go through how a company can get started with Eats on Uber for Business. Then, as I mentioned, we'll leave some time at the end for questions. As I mentioned, my name is Jason, and I'm a product marketing manager on the Uber for Business team. Also presenting later on the call today are Ali and Sarah, who are account executives on our team. We're looking forward to the session with y'all. You may or may not have seen this slide before, but before we begin, I just wanted to quickly set the stage here. We've all come to know Uber as the easiest way to request a ride now, to order a meal, to send a package, and much more. Uber for Business takes the power of the Uber platform and brings it to everyday business. Organizations around the world have seen the endless ways Uber's technology can be applied to the business world. For example, on the right, you see business travel, office meals, etc. And as a result, over the last few years, we've expanded to over 150,000 organizations across 26 countries. And with that expansion, we've introduced solutions to address a variety of different use cases. Now I'll pass it over to Sarah to dive a little bit deeper into all of that.
Okay, great. So first we'll start with the importance of employee engagement. So why are we talking about employee engagement? We know this is important to you, to your company, to your employees, and I'm sure has been especially top of mind over this past year. When employees are engaged and feel connected to their work and their colleagues, they're able to be more creative, productive, innovative, and work better together. And that in turn not only impacts their own personal success, but also the success of their team and your company. However, according to a recent Gallup study, 65% of employees in the US are not engaged. So what are some first steps that you can take? Well, for one, you can encourage wellness as part of your greater employee benefits package. Wellness programs, such as stipends for healthy meals, can have as high as a 6-to-1 return on investment. You can also provide meals for virtual events and team get togethers, or surprise and delight employees by providing a reward or gift, showing your appreciation, as well as thanking employees for their hard work. We have a poll question here. What do you currently do to make sure that your employees stay engaged? And we'll give you some time to answer. Okay, great. It looks like we're almost tied between happy hours and virtual events and offering a flexible work environment, which I'm sure we can all relate to right now. Okay, so now we'll move into Uber Eats for engagement. Eats on Uber for Business provides you with 3 solutions for employee meals. We have meal programs for recurring benefits, vouchers for Uber Eats for virtual events, and gift cards to reward and thank employees. And all 3 of these solutions can be used in tandem to accommodate different use cases. I'll first walk you through meal programs, and then I'll pass it on to Ali to walk through vouchers and gift cards. Meal programs are a go-to solution for recurring benefits. So again, thinking back to a wellness program and providing meals as part of your larger employee benefits package. Examples include daily lunch when in office, or while working remotely, this could be late night or overtime meals, weekly team lunch on Fridays, or monthly credits. We also give you the option of setting policies and restrictions, providing you with more control and visibility over your meal spend. And then for your employees, they'll access this benefit within their own personal Uber Eats account. And we have another poll question here. Do you offer a meal program or meal stipend to your employees? Okay, great. So it's looking like for the majority, offered catered meals when in office, or no, but would like to. Okay, great. So to see meal programs in action, we have a quote here from Talkable's operations coordinator, Natalia. And I first started working with Natalia at the start of these shelter-in-place orders last year when Talkable was first making their transition to fully remote work. And what I wanted to highlight from this quote was for Talkable, they wanted to ensure that employees had access to a hot meal while working remotely, but 2, they also wanted to ensure that the benefit they offered simultaneously supported local restaurants. While in office, Talkable was using catering for daily lunch, similar to a lot of you. And while making the switch to remote work, used Uber Eats so they could quickly and easily extend this benefit. They're also a global company, and with Uber Eats, they were able to use just one vendor to accommodate all of their employees. And they chose to do this via a monthly Uber Eats credit program. And while so many of us are working from home, this has been one of the more popular options with meal programs. So this is a set dollar amount that you offer to your employees that resets monthly. And we find that employees look forward to this benefit, they rely on it, and can order when it's convenient for them. So they can get lunch on Wednesdays or even ice cream at midnight if they want to. And also find that this is really impactful for parents and caretakers who can use this benefit to order dinner for the family, saving time and money. And your employees can even use a portion of their benefit to send a meal to a loved one who they can't see in person right now. We have a share your tracking feature that makes this really easy for both parties. And I'll now pass it on to Allie to walk through vouchers and gift cards.
Thanks, Sarah. Here we go. So in addition to recurring meal programs, we also offer vouchers through Uber for Business, which is a popular solution for more ad hoc events. Vouchers are a great way to drive engagement for employees or guests and are often used for company-wide events, webinars, lunch and learns, and for customer initiatives as well. With vouchers, you can actually customize and set voucher parameters on the back end so that recipients have the flexibility to order meals at their convenience. Ultimately, organizations are only charged on recipient usage with vouchers, which makes for a great cost-saving solution. And vouchers can easily be distributed on demand and in bulk, and tracking is available for redemption and cost. So I wanted to share a recent example from Samsara. Samsara is a tent company and held their company sales kickoff virtually during the pandemic. By offering vouchers to employees, Samsara found that the experience was a win-win, which is something that we hear often. Samsara noted that Uber for Business helped lower meal costs, as voucher costs are based on actual usage, while also supporting local restaurants. Originally, Samsara was planning to communicate a spending limit for meals during the event and reimburse employees. Ultimately, Samsara found that vouchers significantly reduced administrative time on expense reporting by 45 hours. And as an added benefit, recipients didn't have to expense at all, making for much happier employees. Additionally, in July of 2020, Unilever North America provided Uber Eats vouchers to reward the hard work of their employees during the pandemic. As highlighted here, the reaction was really positive, as employees were able to choose exactly what they wanted while also supporting local restaurants. Unilever offered the vouchers as a surprise during the company town hall as a thank you and reward for the hard work of their 9,000 employees throughout the pandemic. Not only did vouchers boost employee morale, but Unilever also discovered that voucher recipients began sending vouchers themselves in creative ways for their own team or departmental initiatives. This is something that we hear often. With the seamless experience of redeeming a voucher, voucher recipients themselves often end up sending vouchers. So with that being said, we'll stop here for a moment. As a thank you for attending, we thought it would be quite fitting to offer you a voucher for Uber Eats. Please keep an eye on your inbox for a voucher that will be valid through Friday, February 26th. So this here is actually one way organizations currently use vouchers during webinars, by sending links to attendees or adding voucher links or even QR codes to the webinar slide. In addition to both meal programs and vouchers, we do also offer Uber gift cards. Gift cards are most often used to treat employees or to say thank you. Gift cards are purchased upfront and do not expire, allowing recipients the flexibility to use Uber Cash at their convenience. Gift card codes are often distributed via text or email, and there's also an option to purchase physical gift cards. This customer anecdote comes from Coca-Cola, who provided $100 gift cards to employees in North America in 2020. For Coca-Cola, this was a really meaningful way to support both employees and the economy, and resulted in an overwhelming response from recipients. Oops, sorry about that. Bear with me for a moment. By offering gift cards to their essential workforce, Coca-Cola found that they were able to boost employee morale during the stress of the pandemic, while also supporting local restaurants. And now I will hand it back over to Sarah just to walk through how we actually set up an Eats for Business account.
Okay, great. So for meal programs, they're managed from the Uber for Business dashboard, and you can create multiple programs, all with different policies and varying levels of access. So as an example, you could set up a weekly Friday team lunch program for all employees, and then an overtime meals program for select departments. And then as for the policies you can put in place, we offer delivery and pickup restrictions for in-office meals, days and times of the week, spend allowance, which can be per meal, per day, or per month, expense code requirements, as well as alcohol restrictions. We also offer centralized billing via one central payment method for quick and easy expensing, as well as decentralized billing connected to your employees' individual corporate cards and further connected to our integrations such as with Expensify and Concur. From there, you'll invite your employees who will then link your company account back to their personal Uber Eats account. So when they're looking to use their benefit, it's as easy as toggling between the personal profile to the company profile as you see here. They can also schedule their order up to 6 days in advance, and we also offer a leave at door option for delivery, which encourages safe distancing. I'll now pass it on to Allie to walk through setting up vouchers and gift cards.
Great, thanks, Sarah. To create a voucher, an account administrator would first need to set up a voucher program through Uber for Business. Once ready to send vouchers, you'd first customize a voucher campaign. So vouchers are customizable by budget per voucher, number of meals, time, and day. To distribute, you could either upload a list of recipients directly to the dashboard for distribution by Uber, or distribute the vouchers to recipients directly. This could be done via social media, text, QR code, or even email, like today. Once a recipient receives a voucher, they're prompted to log into their Uber account or create one and simply click to claim their voucher. The voucher is added to the recipient's Uber account and automatically applies at checkout when eligible. When the voucher expires, it's no longer a payment option in the recipient's account. To purchase gift cards in bulk, there is no dashboard involved. First, you would place an order through Uber for Business. There are two main options for distribution: distribution from your organization or distribution from Uber directly to recipients via email. To redeem, recipients simply enter their gift card code into the wallet section of the Uber app or website, or Uber Eats app or website, to begin using Uber Cash towards rides or meals. And if you are interested in setting up any of the programs discussed today, or ordering gift cards, keep an eye out for a link on the last slide to get in touch with a member of our team. And I will pass things back over to Sarah to wrap up.
Okay, great. So wrapping up, whoops, one moment. So first wanted to recap the different ways that you can keep your employees engaged with Eats on Uber for Business. So the first being employee morale. Think happy hours, team meetings, virtual game nights. This is all about lifting spirits. Employee benefits. So again, as part of a wellness program and your greater employee benefit package, providing meals to work from home employees, as well as essential workers still coming into the office. Virtual meetings and events. So using meals to increase attendance and engagement at your virtual conferences, lunch and learns, company kickoffs. And then as part of your recruiting strategy. So thanking your applicants or providing your summer interns with meals. And before moving on to Q&A, did want to highlight a few different ways we differentiate ourselves. So first being convenience. Not only can you manage meal programs, vouchers, and gift cards together, but you can do so alongside our employee travel programs. So it's a one-stop shop for everything Uber. Two, our global footprint. Uber currently operates in 6,000 plus cities in 32 countries. So your employees can use Uber Eats wherever they work and can accommodate more of your offices. Reliability, we leverage our existing rides infrastructure and driver pool for a larger courier supply. And this is what gets us our average delivery time of under 30 minutes. And then lastly, selection and partners. We have over 500,000 restaurant partners, and this includes small businesses, local favorites, as well as exclusive partnerships with companies like Starbucks. And with that, we'll head over to Q&A.
All right, thank you, Ali and Sarah, for going through such great content. I think it was great to learn, about how Eats on Uber for Business can really apply to a very relevant use case of, engaging, making sure your employees are still staying engaged, especially throughout these times. Yeah, lots of content. I know there are a couple of questions too as well. So I think the first one was around kind of like the global nature and how can you use the same account and programs across global offices. So as it relates to global organizations, maybe specific to meal programs, vouchers, and gift cards. Sarah, could you help answer this question?
Yeah, so you can use the same account for all offices. You can use the same account and be billed to your HQ office. You can also set up meal programs and vouchers with different currencies or let them auto convert to your local currency at checkout.
Great. And there's also another question. I think this one's more on pricing as well as purchasing. Is there a minimum purchase amount for vouchers and gift cards? And Ali, I'll have you answer this one.
Whoops, I was muted. In terms of purchasing and minimums, for vouchers and meal programs, the actual cost to set up an account is free to set up and maintain. No sort of minimums on the account for usage. Gift cards are purchased upfront. So rather than kind of being billed on usage for both meal programs and vouchers, gift cards are a little bit different in that they're an upfront purchase. There's no sort of additional corporate fee across any of the programs. However, one thing to note for gift cards is that there is a credit card processing fee, a pretty standard fee. But in terms of like Uber for Business corporate fees, no fees across any of those three programs.
Got it. And just to double click into the vouchers portion, I think there was also a follow-up question in terms of how are vouchers billed? Is it billed per transaction, like a personal account, or can a company be billed monthly?
Great question. So you could either be billed on a daily basis if you were having kind of a one-off voucher campaign here or there. You could choose to be billed on a daily cadence. You could also choose to be billed on a monthly cadence. So if you'd prefer your account to just be billed once a month, you could do so as well for vouchers.
Yeah, and I think this is just going to show the reason why we have built the Uber for Business platform, right? It's to really address these use cases and these needs of businesses to be built in different ways or specific ways. And I think this just goes to show another way we're addressing applying Uber to the business world. Great. I think there are still a few other questions. I think there's one question around if my company already has an Uber for Business account for rides, how can I set up employee meals or send vouchers? Sarah, do you want to address this one?
Yeah, so if you have an Uber for Business account, you'll simply log into the admin dashboard. And then from there, you can visit the Programs tab and then select Create Programs. It'll be a blue button. And then you can either create a meal program, which is a very similar process to creating a travel program, or you can activate vouchers access, which gives yourself as an admin or anyone else you grant access to the ability to create and distribute vouchers.
Great. Lots of questions, I think, coming in now around vouchers. So we can probably just go through a few of them. One was, when setting up vouchers, is it possible to include the tip and tax into the amount of voucher to avoid the employee paying the tip? Sarah, can you maybe help with this one?
Yeah, so this is actually our newest feature and should be launched by the end of this month. But will include tip as part of the voucher credit. So it will now be inclusive of the budget. That way, the recipient, whether employee or a customer, is able to tip using the voucher. So coming soon, very, very soon.
Awesome. Stay tuned. There's another question around, I think this is related to billing again, but when you create a voucher campaign, is there a way to generate a bill with the final amount for the entire campaign? I think, Al, you might have touched on this a little bit in your previous answer, but if there's anything else that you might want to add around that, feel free.
Absolutely. When you have access to your vouchers dashboard, you'll be able to click in campaign by campaign to actually download a file. If you've sent unique links to all recipients, there is a way to pull that data. That way you'll be able to see the spend per campaign.
Got it. Got it. No, just another question too. Can I just send recipients Uber credit to use for either Uber Eats or a ride? Is there something to kind of address both use cases or provide that flexibility? Sarah, can you please help answer?
Yeah, so this is also a newer feature with vouchers. So you can now either restrict your recipient to using it on the Uber Eats app or travel app, or you can choose to use our all products option. So they can use the credit that you offer on both apps.
And I think this is great too, right? I think this goes to show kind of the power of the platform, having the ability to kind of address multiple different use cases. And I think sometimes it's also nice to provide that flexibility to the end user. But at the same time, you still have that opportunity to select and apply controls if you want to as well. So I think this is definitely a unique product to leverage. Looking through the other questions as well. There's one maybe around visibility into vouchers and kind of seeing, right, having some information as to who's used the voucher and who hasn't. Sarah, do you want to kind of talk through the features there?
So we do offer tracking through the vouchers dashboard, and you'll be able to easily view who has been sent a voucher, who has claimed it, and who has used it. You can also download a CSV file that we provide to you, and that will have additional information such as how much each person spent and the number of meals they ordered. So you will have tracking and visibility for each of your campaigns to see how effective they were.
Awesome. And I think, yeah, that information is always interesting because you can kind of gauge how well the campaign's done and in terms of the effectiveness and how it's drive certain results. So it's always nice to tie these efforts to results so you can improve on it next time. This actually just a general question I think would be nice to kind of follow up. I think during the session we went through a few customer examples. Goes to both you and Sarah and Allie. Any kind of examples just from the past that have struck out to you in addition to the customers that you've talked about on the call right now, just to really highlight again the use case specifically around employee engagement. Anything else that you want to call out?
Yeah, I can take this. So one company I work with has been providing a monthly credit program. So again, similar to what we discussed, providing a set dollar amount to employees that resets monthly. But they also use vouchers at the same time for any sort of lunch and learns that they host. Anytime a specific team is working on a project and they want to thank their employees. So they're able to provide additional credits with vouchers for more of these one-off use cases. And I found it to be really easy to just log into the voucher dashboard, set it up as they need to, and then they can again put that expiration date in place.
And I'd love to add, in addition to that, Sarah, there's one use case from a customer that I love, and it's been throughout this pandemic, they used our meal programs to offer a family meal program. A finance firm, I think a lot of the employees were working really long hours, and many of them were parents kind of juggling Zoom education and working and everything that everybody's doing right now while working from home. And so the company offered kind of once a week meal program so that the parents could order for their families. They opened it up, they kind of raised the budget on the meal program. And that way, once a week, all working parents were able to use their business profile to order a meal for their family.
Awesome. Awesome. And I know we're all looking forward to potentially going back to the office at some point, but for now, just have to make do and kind of face the challenges with what we can do. I think we're right about at time. Thanks, everyone, for all of your questions and for your participation in today's webinar. Also, thank you to Ali and Sarah for going through all the content. If you had any questions that haven't been answered, we'll follow up via email. Thanks all.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.